I just feel as though all religions, all Abrahamic religions that come from Abraham, and they share all the same prophets: Noah, Moses, Jesus, Isa, all that. It's the same book, right? It's just different versions, different languages, different translations, and different cultures translating the one truth into they shit, so it's more relatable to them. Like a hood prophet or something, you know what I'm saying? So you can break it down and relate to your fellow man. But I feel as though anyone that believes in one man, like Abraham, you have one life in this world and you trying to copy another man, how he lived and how he said he talked to God and his divine experience instead of having our own divine experience, because we waiting for a savior, we waiting for Jesus or Allah or Muhammad or something to come save us, when we was made, like the universe made us, sent us down to save ourselves, not to wait on no savior and have a victim mentality, right? That's not God-like at all. And if God is in our essence, because he made us, then that means we are God. So it can't be God is everywhere but inside of us. That can't be true. That's just some real that's a real dig to your self-confidence as a person. And if you tell a person, oh, you born in sin and you inherently gonna sin the rest of your life until you turn into this white 30-year-old man with a beard, right, that look like a fucking I don't know, Serapis or Ptolemy from Egypt and Greece and Zeus and shit. That's what he looked like. That's what Jesus, modern Jesus, looked like. He looked like a Roman nigga from back then. So not like the Jesus they talk about in the Bible, brass skin, woolly hair, all that. So we know they lying. They been lying. So they come to find out they took 80. They had 80 books of the Bible. They break it down to 66. Come to find out the ones that they took out were mostly female authors, because you know white people don't like their females or don't believe they should have any voice, any say, or anything in life, compared to African tradition where mothers were queens, they picked the kings. Queens were more at a higher level than the kings were. All that. It was a matriarchy and all that. Females are even respected in our communities right now. You know what I'm saying? We know. But we know white people don't give a fuck about they women, because they women's the one that started feminism, white feminism. If white men are so good and treat people and treat women so good, there wouldn't be no white feminists. Besides the point though. Yeah, I also believe all those books, Quran, Torah, and the Bible are all allegories and metaphors for symbolism and to unlock some truths in life. But the thing is, if you don't have your third eye open when you're reading it, you taking everything literal. It's talking about this brick was 25 cubits tall. And you're like, damn, I don't even know how much 25 cubits is. Or it's talking about and the pyramids was 25 miles across and 40 yards diagonal, whatever, right? And then you come to find out everything in the Bible happened within like a 25-mile square radius. And one question is, how can the whole world find salvation off stories that happen right here in fucking the Middle East or North Africa, right? That makes no sense. Cause in my historical knowledge, I know the world started from the Nile River, from Sudan emptying out to the Mediterranean Sea. So the whole time the map is really flipped. It's flipped because water runs from the mountaintop to the ocean and empties out in the ocean. So that means where Egypt is now would have been Lower Egypt back then, and they would have called Upper Egypt where the mountains, where the Nile started, right? So Upper Egypt back then was like Sudan, Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Lower Egypt was modern day Egypt. So just by doing that, it confuses the fuck out of Africans, right? So that's why I don't fuck with them. I don't fuck with white people. They draw these borderlines with their crayons and say this is real and all that, right? But besides the point, I feel like if you take it literal, you're gonna get fucked up, because the Bible be like, kill your wife if she speak against you or whatever like that, or don't let your wife be a pastor, don't let your wife do this, don't let your wife be an independent woman, all this shit. If your there's some shit like, oh, if your right hand steal, cut off your left hand. If you really taking that shit literal, like, you know what I'm saying, you gonna go batshit crazy, right? It's not meant to be taken literal, because it says Adam and Eve were existed 6,000 years ago. But we find the Great Pyramid of Giza, the Sphinx down in Egypt, are at least 20,000 years old, if not way older, right? Because they said the Sphinx was there before the Great Flood, right? And then you find hella stories of great floods all over the world. So that means one was copied and pasted from the other. Because if you know anything about chronological order, one has to come before the other. So the first ever manuscript that was found in the ground in Persia or Iran or something like that, right, was Sumerian text. And the Sumerian text had the creation story and the flood story. Those are two things that are in the Bible, Torah, and Quran, right? So they didn't just make it up. God didn't really just talk to someone and be like, here's the story to write. God don't speak English. God don't speak no man-made words. God don't use internet. God don't use nothing that we've made. God only uses things that he's made, which is nature, like things that share the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, and all that. Like this right here, Fibonacci sequence, when things spiral into each other and becomes perfect, that's the Fibonacci sequence. Like this, my ear, that's Fibonacci sequence. It spirals. It's perfect. You put two ears together and it forms a heart, like the modern day heart that we use. That's where they got it from, because it does not look like this heart we got in our chest, right? So your ears just show the golden ratio or the golden mean. So I'm saying God talks to us through nature, music, numbers, which is math, and shapes, which is geometry, because like flowers, fruits, they all shapes. That's how you contact the divine. I feel as though like back then, ancient African traditions were real into nature. Even though they was cutting chicken heads off, using herbs, burning shit, all that, it's still all free shit. It's free to the point where you gotta toil for that shit with your energy, but the world will provide it for you, right? But now with tithes and offering, you gotta use monopoly money to help to do that, right? To contribute to God or what you think God is, right? But God don't got no use for that monopoly shit, right? I feel as though when we burn something like weed or anything, some smoke, some incense, all that, or when we pour libations, that's because we believe in the afterlife. When we send something up in smoke, we're giving it to the next realm, to the afterlife world, right? So for our loved ones and all that's passed away, when we pour libations, even the ancient Egyptians and people in Africa, West Africa, Central Africa, South Africa, they still practice that. Whenever they have a drink, they pour some out because they know this life isn't it. That if they show reverence to the dead and to the gone right now while still living, when they go on and die, they will also receive the same energy. So that's just on some traditional type speaking things. And watch, all religions gonna demonize all African traditions, talking about some demons, witchcraft, All right, let's break it down. Christianity, communion. You drinking wine and you eating bread, symbolizing what? Body and blood. That's a blood ritual. That's witchcraft right there. But we too blind to see it because the white man is telling us to do it, and we're surrounded by a bunch of yes men saying, yeah, let's do it, let's drink, let's eat, right? So you just do it. But at the same time, in the Bible and holy scripts, they be like, it's harder for someone to get to heaven than to get through an eye of a needle. If that's the case, if it is harder to be righteous than to be wicked, then if you go to a church and 1,000 people in that bitch talking about I'm saved and I'm good and all that, but you know yourself that if you go in a room with 10 people, 9 out of 10 of them people gonna be like, you know what I'm saying, fugazi, right? Or off a little bit. So in the same sense, there's no way there's this many like self-proclaiming Christians and religious people and all that. It's all a sham. It's all, you know what I'm saying? It's all double speak. And I'd rather you not claim nothing and just be you than you trying claim something, try to live up to a standard while putting everyone else down, which all religion do. All religion demonizes non-believers. And not saying everyone does, but the moderate religious people get crucified by the radical religious people, right? Because the radical religious people, they're only there because the book allows them. They read the book and it radicalized them. Any book that is supposed to be the truth for the whole world should have enough power to completely change a person. But like I was saying, a good person don't need laws to tell them to be good. And a bad person don't even look at the laws regardless. And they going to do what they want to do. You feel me? So I do believe it's an inside change that you got to do. Not no book, not no saved again, not no prayer, not no baptism. No external factor could change you. It's all inside. It's all accountability. I hate religion because it takes away accountability from people. Because anything good, you're going to give it to Sky Daddy in the sky, right? Anything bad, you're going to blame a nigga 6 feet below you that ain't even do nothing to you, right? In the Bible, Satan never even killed no one for real. God killed people. God killed Lot. God killed Noah and his family. Not Noah, but I'm saying everyone that Noah lived with. God do all this killing and sacrificing and put Isaac on the sacrifice altar, but don't really kill him. Job, I'm gonna play with your life. Devil, see what you can take away from him, but I'm gonna give it to you twice back. Like, all that shit is too much. That God in the Bible and Quran and Torah sound like a human. He has human tendencies. He has human errors. He get jealous. He's vengeful. He got bitches that he impregnating and leaving fatherless. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's some real human shit, right? My God is nothing but human. He is anything but human, right? He in my essence. And people in church gonna tell you God is this, God is that. Nah, God made me, so I know exactly how he is. If I got a sense of humor, my God got a sense of humor. My God can take a joke. If I can take a joke, my God can take a joke. You feel me? If you uptight and you anal and you all, you know what I'm saying, woke up on the wrong side of the bed and all that, that's a reflection of your God and the God that made you, not me. You know what I'm saying? In the Bible, say we not all humans on this earth. There's spirits, there's demons, there's all types of shit, reptilians, all that. So you don't even know about the next man. You can only speak for yourself. So you talking about something, we all God's children, we all human, we the people. You doing yourself a disadvantage. You want to be equal to people that is not equal to you, right? You know what I'm saying? So I just feel as though, like, I'm rapping. I could talk about this forever. Because I got the proof and all that to back it up. We could research, Google, citations, links, all that. Like, it's just all corrupted, like in the Bible, it's all gods that people believe in, it condones slavery and oppression of women. It just do. Because I don't care when it was written or why it was written, but it just do. But I know the text that was first is called the Book of the Dead, or the book called Coming Forth by Day. That's what it's called, by the Egyptians. If you read that, you're going to read the original text of everything that was ever in the Bible, Quran, all that was copied and pasted and plagiarized and whitewashed and Arab washed and Judish washed and all that. And I could get into the Egyptian mystery systems and their science and their Kemetic sciences of alchemy and chemistry and all that, but that might be a little too much. But, you know what I'm saying? I just want to say that it's all derived from the people who first studied the stars. Because they say Jesus is the bright and morning star, Lucifer is the bright and morning star. So they're talking about astronomy. Not astrology, but astronomy, the study of the stars, which astrology is derived from. But, yeah, so they really just look up in the sky and put human traits on celestial bodies. So like Jupiter, like in Rome, you know, Jupiter is a god, but he's also a planet. You know, Saturn is a god, but also a planet. Venus is a goddess, but also a planet. So look, we're still using Roman gods in our everyday life, right? But we don't even think nothing of it because they rule all this shit. You know what I'm saying? White people had 500 years domination on this world. Before that, it was the Arabs. Before that, it was probably like the Chinese. And then before that, it was Africans. You know what I'm saying? years of peace and synchronicity on the world, and no and self-sustainability on the world without no mutant cave dweller to fuck it up with their colonization and destruction and all that.